All righty, so we're going to continue on. Last we got the level break footer totals put in and tested appropriately. Now we are going to make some sense of that. So we're going to add, with our level break footer highlighted, we're going to add a constant. We're going to add a constant. And we're going to call it customer totals. And you know what? I am, just for grins, I am going to also make everything bold. So I'm going to go into the section font in color, choose font, make it bold. There we go. Okay. And then next we are going to add a phone number via the subsection join. So with the section of interest highlighted, we're going to do section create, subsection join, and we're going to make it a group section. And find the business view myself. It's going to be B0115B, phone for reports. Next. And then I'm going to select the prefix and the phone number. Make sure there's a 2 in the number of columns because I want it to display them in 2 columns. And next, and then I have to explain the join. So I'm going to join between the invoice document review and the child is going to be address number, and the parent is also going to be the address number. And the join only at level breaks is yes, because we're level breaking on customer number. So yes and finish. And then we're going to establish some data selection because there could be a lot of phones associated with that address book number. And we only want the phone numbers where the phone type is blank. So I'm going to say where phone number type is equal to blank, and phone number is there's actually a phone number, so the phone number is greater than blank. And so that blank phone number type implies that it's the business phone. Okay, so also for prefix, we're going to change the name to phone number. And then we're going to disconnect this label from the field. And then I'm going to delete it. Then I'm going to make this and then we're going to make all of the text here. We're going to set everything in the child section to be bold and size 8. Okay, now it all looks aligned. All right, I'm going to save and run a preview. And there's our phone number. And there's customer totals for the preview. Looks good. Okay, and then it says we can add the customer number to the level break footer so the description reads totals for customer. Now, since we already added a constant for customer totals, we're going to need to delete that. And we're going to add an address book number data dictionary field. Now it's going to be a data dictionary field because we're going to have to assign it the customer value, and we'll talk about why. So double break footer, going to grab the data dictionary browser and add AN8. And I'm going to say totals for customer number. And then this value. Now, oh, actually, it just wants totals for customer, not the number. So I'm going to get rid of that part. Totals for customer. Just aligning some things up here. Now I'm going to change the name of this so I know what I'm working with. And I'm going to call it customer number. The exercise says to call it address book number 2, but I prefer for it to have meaning because the intent is that this is for the customer number. And then we're going to need to go into the do event of this section. And I'm going to add another comment just to separate the logic a little bit. And I'm going to select an assignment, RV, customer number is equal to, now, normally we talk about BC, business view fields. But now that we've gone through some of the event processing, we know that for the level break footer to be triggered, it has to have done another, the section, main section has to have retrieved the record and realized that address book number is changed. So we need to assign it not to the business view field, which is actually the next one that we haven't seen yet, but we need to assign it to the prior, which is the PC AN8 field. So, which is the previous business view column. And so we're going to save that. And let's do a preview. I'm going to press F5. Run the preview again. And 1041, yes. So this is a new preview. So there we go. Totals for customer 1001. And those are the new values. Okay. And just for grins, I'm going to look at the entire report. Okay. And so after looking at this, everything looks good. Notice that the subsection join can be many-to-many relationship, or one customer, multiple phone numbers, instead of just one is what you see in most examples, phone number, but it can be multiple. And so now we're going to add a grand total section to the entire thing. So back in design, so we're going to do a create section, group section. And we're going to cancel this, which means there's not going to be a business view attached to this. And nor should there be. We just need to calculate it ourselves. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to call it grand totals. And we are going to add two data dictionary values of AA, or amount. So one of them I'm going to call GT open amount. And the other one I'm going to call GT discount amount. And since we don't need the labels, since we're faking a column there, I'm going to disconnect the labels and delete them. And then I'm going to okay, I got to check this out. This is really weird that doesn't feel like I'm snapping the grid, and that's what's going on. I didn't have snapped grid going, so that's why everything seemed weird to me. Okay. Now we're going to do something special. We're going to make these variables global variables. So I'm going to double click on both of them, go to advanced, and set them up as a global variable. And that allows me to see them from anywhere. And since upon creation, they're essentially initialized to null, which is close enough to 0 to count. And because these are report level grand totals, I don't need to reset them back to 0 at any particular time. In the event rules, I can, in the level break footer, I can go to event rules. And I'm going to go ahead and add another blank comment. And then I can say, because they're global variables, I can now see them from anywhere in the report. And there's my RV grand total open amount. And I'm going to then go to expression manager and say that equals my grand total open amount, RV grand total open amount. Plus the RV level break footer total open amount, and say okay, and then do the same thing for discount amount. So if I click here and go to R, I can jump sometimes pretty close. So I hit R 3 times to get there. So grand total discount amount, I'm going to go to expression manager. Click in here, hit R to go down to the level break footer total discount amount. Oh, I'm sorry. I want the grand total discount amount plus the RV level break footer total discount amount. And I'm going to save that, and it says to, when I go to properties on these, says I want a line above it, but I'm gonna, because it's a grand total, I want to show you what a rectangle looks like on one, and then the other for style, we're going to say double lines over and under, just to give you experience with those two things. I'm going to save it. Now that it's saved, I can jump over to Object Management Workbench and run it. And there's the new value, or the new report, excuse me. And there's what it looks like down at the bottom. Okay, and obviously I can align those better. So I'll do that. I'm going to delete some of these previous reports because I don't really need to remember them. Okay. Now, additional work. We can go up to the page header. We're going to focus on the page number variable. We're going to right mouse click and click delete. And then we're going to insert a runtime field of page n of total. And drop it close and then move it up to where I'm going to make it a little prettier. Like that. And then one more thing just for grins. I am going to add the version because I like seeing on the report itself what version is being run. So I'm going to change the name from generic variable to version. And then in the event rules, the do section, I'm going to say that RV version equals the SL version name. And say OK. I'm going to save it. And let's run it, see what happens. And there's our version that's being run. There's our totals, which are now aligned. Not much else we could do to this, so I'm going to call it good. And this completes the ERW review directed exercise. Thank you, guys.